Hey guys, it's Lost Hope and Redmond here, playing Gears of War. I think we're now in the theatre. We've just regrouped with Marcus and Kate. And yeah, we're still going through the campaign. Let's see what this part holds.
Yeah, because I think if I remember correctly, last time we were like running around from like the swarm, which is like a random bunch of leeches that just come after you.
Oh yeah, the flock stuff.
Yeah, the flock. There we go. But yeah, we're kind of like talking about like propaganda, all that sort of stuff, which is interesting.
Yeah. All the weird collectibles that are. Marcus is standing in my way. All the weird collectibles that are like really weird propaganda.
Yeah, and it's always interesting with like world building stuff, right? Because like Warren Lighter, whoever uses I use that a lot. Okay, cool.
So interesting.
It's always interesting with like world building and stuff like that, and like lore, because I think a lot of games nowadays are like super good at it. Because there seems to be like a lot more emphasis on like getting an idea for like the history, what happens in this world, why am I here, what to expect, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Like if you compare this game to like the original Gears of War, there's so much more backstory in it almost, where there's all the collectibles have a merit. In Gears of War 1 they were just cog tags. You didn't pick anything up, it was just, oh look, I found a cog tag. That was it.
Where'd they all go?
Yeah, exactly. And like I don't know if it's just if it's a me thing, but I feel like nowadays a lot more people are not okay with the whole why are we here rooty tooty shooty idea.
Oh, there's ammo there. Yeah, I know what you mean, where it's just like the story is just an excuse to shoot people. Like in this, a lot of nowadays a lot of people are more invested in that sort of stuff. Like
yeah, which I think is a good thing.
Oh, definitely. Like I love sitting. Like I'll sit down and just Google a game and just read up about it. Find one of the gamepedias that are out there and just read all the wiki about all sorts of random stuff.
Guys?
Yeah.
We got a problem.
I'm guessing that's the boss.
Yeah.
Look behind it. The evacuees. They're all dead.
Let's just stay quiet and try to get out of here.
Love it.
I can't remember if there's a soft spot on it. I do know that you've just got to try and shoot in the fleshy bits.
Yeah. Ow.
I love how all the AI just followed me over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's crazy how like the AI just kind of know what to do without really talking about it.
Yeah, they are quite intelligent in terms of getting into cover a lot of the time. When I played through this on a single player, they are little. When it's just you and one AI member, it's like, you know, when it's just me and you split up. When it's you and an AI member split up, it's pretty poor.
Yeah.
They're just not as competent as having another actual person helping you.
Yeah, and that's kind of a good thing because like, oh my god.
Oh no! All the cover's gone over there.
And that's kind of like a good thing, I guess. The fact it's like more difficult to an extent.
Yeah.
Although apparently there are some good robots here. Well, there's 2 in 1.
Yeah, I did see a couple of good robots.
But yeah, I think we're talking about this and Army 2 how it has like the same sort of ideas in terms of like moral choices and stuff like that, and like what you do affects gameplay, which is always like a cool thing to see.
Yeah, there's not too much of that in this in terms of decisions. There are 1 or 2 that do come up, and they do sort of come out of nowhere.
I'm down, by the way.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Thank you.
But Army of 2, I think the 40th day had so many moral choices. If you remember that one, that was the one in I want to say somewhere in Asia.
Yeah, it was like China during like a big like terrorist attack or like war or something weird.
Yeah, I think so. I honestly don't. I haven't played that game in so long, but it was something along those lines, definitely.
Yeah, but do you feel like what do you call it, like gameplay creators nowadays are held to more of like an account to make sure like each game is like a different? Oh my god, each gameplay thing's like different, and each person has their own personal experience nowadays. Or do you feel like they can kind of get away with the old like Call of Duty one where you kind of go around shooting stuff and you kind of like think about it later?
I think it depends because I mean, there was that Call of Duty that came out a little while ago that just didn't do a campaign. There was one didn't have a campaign. It had a battle royale mode and a multiplayer. That was it,
Yeah.
and it did well. So there is an audience of people that just aren't interested in a campaign and just want to play through and have an excuse to shoot around people in a world. But then I know that there are games that are just story based, like God of War, which did fantastically well, that only had single player. So
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting because I feel like single player games nowadays have to have like so much, not diversity, but like so many different boxes ticked nowadays compared to like the old multiplayers.
Yeah,
Which
like
is
you can't just play a hack and slasher today. It's always like hack and slasher that's got RPG elements and a free roam element and this and that all bolted onto it at the same time.
Yeah, because I can't remember what game it was. So you had like, I think the Zelda was quite a good one actually, the new one which you haven't played through yet. So we'll do that tirade another time.
Don't hate me, guys.
But yeah, it's interesting because like the old-fashioned Zelda games, you didn't really get a choice. You're kind of like told to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C. And the new ones are more like all about like making sure you got like the right armor, picking your favorite weapons, doing that sort of stuff. So it's quite good.
I think a lot of games have jumped onto sort of the RPG route. A lot of them know that people like having choice and options, so a lot of single player games give you leveling up, even though they don't really need leveling up, and they give you skills and things like that. I know Last of Us 2 has leveling up where you level up skills and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And really, like, gameplay aside, like you don't really need that. They've just added that in as another thing to have to do in the game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not hating on Last of Us 2 at all, but
it just didn't need it.
Yeah, technically it didn't need it. I mean, it doesn't take anything away from the game having that. Oh, big boys are here.
Good. Ooh.
Game. Oh, roll credits. Oh, I'm inside a rock. That glitched. I'm so glad you've still got that big gun, despite falling off that balcony.
Oh my god.
Go.
Nice. Okay, that goes there. Got that gun. Yeah, no, it's interesting because it's just like growing up with like so many different games nowadays. Like, did you ever play the original Assassin's Creed?
Oh yeah, yeah. I played the first 3 of those Assassin's Creed games, I think. Yeah, I had Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah, and like how they did it with like Origins and Odyssey, they changed it all.
Yeah, I mean it's gone from that sort of stealthy game to more RPG action hack and slasher, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that was like an interesting thing for me because it was just like, I don't know, it wasn't like your typical reason to have like RPG elements, but you gave it RPG elements and like, I actually didn't do a bad job.
No, I honestly haven't played the new ones. More out of always when I've got enough money to buy a game, I buy something else.
Yeah.
Not out of like, oh, I don't want to play that. But I did get a bit Assassin's Creeded out when it was like 1 a year. So I think I had a bit of fatigue.
Well, like, and that's the other thing. Like, some game companies nowadays are like so good at like pooping them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's the like the FIFA effect. Every game, once game companies saw the sports games could put a game out every year, Call of Duty started doing that. I mean, they used to put out 2 a year, didn't they?
What, Call of Duty?
Yeah, because they had one team making Modern Warfare and one team making Black Ops, so that was 2 a year.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I guess it's just like, just waiting for this to kind of like finished shooting at me. It's interesting because you kind of like are shocked at how much pressure nowadays like games have put on them.
Oh, definitely. Like, if a game doesn't do well now, it's a lot worse than if it didn't do well then, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I think it's because like nowadays there's like teams of like hundreds of people working on the game.
Oh yeah, unless you're an indie studio, you've got a huge. Oh god, there's a dude over there. You've got a huge team of people working for you that you need to make sure they get paid and stuff.
Yeah. He doesn't have any blisters on him, or am I going crazy?
He's got some on his right side, but I'm out of ammo. I'll switch to the left and hopefully he'll start shooting me so you can see his blisters.
I see them.
Come and get me, bro.
Ow.
That's army of two it. I'll get all the aggro.
Me too, I think. I don't know what happened to that, honestly. Like, it kind of just like, when they just picked up and vanished.
It was the newest one they made.
The
The
Mexico one.
Yeah, Devil's Cartel. When you played as Alpha and Bravo or whatever it was, it killed it completely. I mean, it wasn't a bad game. I played through it, but you know, spoiler alert for a game from years and years ago. That they kill off both the characters from the last one.
Yeah.
And they even make one of them a villain, the villain of the game. So once you did that and gave you two characters whose name were literally Alpha and Bravo, they sort of killed the game.
Yeah, no, I think that was the issue because like you kind of like grew up and you're like, oh, I really like these characters, they're really cool, and then, yeah. But I saw why they did it because you couldn't really keep on playing like the same two guys all the time.
Yeah, but the problem is Alpha and Bravo, like their names are Alpha and Bravo, they had no character. They were just blank soldier men.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, Gears of War, at least all the characters have conflict and a name. They've got conflict. They've got fucking personality. There's more personality in one character than there was in Alpha and Bravo.
Yeah.
Oh, they're beefing again. See, look, character.
I just love the fact he's got glasses on.
All the time.
Guess who ordered the first shot, Del? Directly into those peaceful protesters of yours. Yeah, that's right. Lieutenant Pedigree there.
But yeah, no,
Yeah, if you remember, they were saying in a previous one there was an incident here where they shot on some protesters. And they've all just found out that it was JD that ordered it.
Oh, okay.
In case anyone's not following, because I know we're talking over a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah, at least the good thing is like the story's like, I don't know, the thing is for me, like, I think you can probably agree, it's still working nowadays. It's just like you can't really play that many story games. Because you play story games, you might leave for a couple weeks, come back to it, and you'll be like, I don't remember what I'm here for, slash what I'm doing, slash what my motivation is, slash
I get you.
why I've stored all these cheese wheels on my character in Elder Scrolls.
Look,
yeah.
Everyone has gone through the cheese wheel stage on an Elder Scrolls game. It happens.
Yeah. And it's just weird because nowadays, like, I don't know, especially with work and all that sort of stuff, you just like can't do any of that thing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to try and play in the evenings for at least a couple of hours each day.
Yeah.
So if there's a game I can't put down, I do still tend to follow the story.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean. Like, just sometimes life gets in the way of this hobby, which is a shame because it's a hobby that I love. But sometimes life just gets in the way of hobbies, which is a shame.
Yeah. No, because it's like it's painful because like there's some heavy lore games that you kind of need to remember, like the story and all that sort of stuff. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think for me, like Red Dead Redemption 1 was one of those because I like
Oh,
played
that's
3/4 of it, and the funny thing is, right, I then came back and I was on the last mission without even knowing. After like a couple of months of not even playing it for a while. But yeah, it was just a really interesting point. It was just like, because they got to the bit where like John Marston obviously like defended his town, kind of did all that sort of stuff, and then died.
Yeah.
And I was just like, huh. And that was kind of it. And it was just like, that's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, you picked it back up after not playing it for ages. Got reinvested, and then the game finished.
Yeah, exactly right. And it was just such a weird idea of the time.
Yeah, so he got the Hammer of Dawn to target him, and then ran in.
Yeah.
But
It's gonna hit me.
well, no, it's doing its job.
Okay. I just like the fact it said Blast dies down like the subtitles. I'm like, good.
But I haven't got the subtitles on. But remember, so they haven't got all the satellites up. So look, he's just lost connection. So
He thinks he's killed him.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they haven't got control of it because of the satellites. So he's not. Yeah. So remember how I was talking to you about how reckless JD is?
Yeah. It's all
This
kind
is
of playing into it now.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about.
So how does the Hammer of Dawn work? Is it just like a big laser beam in space?
Basically, it's like 4 or 5 satellites in space that all target one point
Yeah.
and do that. So that's a giant space laser. They explained it a bit more in Gears of War 1 because it was a lot more prominent than in this one. They had to blow up the world to save it. Well, they thought they'd save it, but they didn't. Essentially, to try and stop the locusts, they were like, let's just blow everything up.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work.
Oh.
Yep, there goes Lizzie Carmine.
That was like dark. Oh, from what's there. Okay. I was gonna say that was like a really dark way to kind of end it. You're like introduced like characters like kicking ass and taking names. Just like yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean she's a Carmine, so it was that does happen. Unfortunately, 4 months later.
I like the fact they've all got these like different armor variants and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do like the armor variants. Like, it's not. I think there's like 3 or 4 on this game.
Yeah.
You go to different places.
Should we bring him along?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, come on.
Look who it is! It's Jack,
So what's the mission anyway?
everyone's favorite character.
My life lighting from Cogbots? No issue.
I was gonna say you kind of like hit the nail on the head when you're like it's an emotive robot. And you're like okay.
Yeah, it's basically it's like a R2D2. He just bleeps and bloops, but you know what he's saying, if you know what I mean. Ew.
Oh yeah, that's up.
I'm guessing these guys are like killing the swarm or wherever they are.
Yeah, I think these guys are they're stranded. They're people that live outside the cog.
Oh okay.
I'm fine.
He's not gonna listen to you.
How about you let him decide that?
Hey, it's her.
At a funeral.
Can't come here with cog weapons. Hand them over.
You know who my father was, right? Who my mother was?
And yet you're the one in cog.
Oh, her father, by the way, Gabe Diaz,
Okay.
Kate's father, is the person you play as in the Gears Tactics story mode.
Oh okay. Because I was looking at that like bits and bobs throughout like a certain period of time, and I was like, do I want to give this a go?
I'm the second it drops on Xbox, I'm guessing it.
Okay.
Because it's XCOM,
Mixed with Gears.
obviously, but they've kept the fast-paced action of Gears of War, where like if you get an execution, it gives you your actions back for your soldiers and stuff like that. So it
Okay.
rewards the Gears of War thinking of getting your executions and doing your close range killing. And it's the very same where you've got like a small squad and that you're just being swarmed by all these enemies.
Okay. Makes sense.
So yeah, this is another one of those sort of open worldy bits.
Yeah, we can kind of like walk around and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I guess next time we can kind of go explore the area and speak to the chief.
Cool.
Thank you very much, guys, for joining us, and we will see you next time for some more Gears of War 5.
See you on the next one.
Bye.